Hello everyone, Malin here, and in this video I'm going to be ranking every single character from Disventure Camp. Quick disclaimer, this is only from each of them in their debut season because I started this before the first episodes of All Stars came out. I'm already working on a video about characters in All Stars, which will be released pretty soon after this, but due to laziness and being busy, I didn't finish until today, but now I'm doing this, so I'm not taking into account what any of the characters have done in All Stars, or any characters that debuted in All Stars, like whatever that new girl's name is. I can't remember what it is. And also Marcus and Nina are being counted as one character here. So, yeah. Starting off with the failure tier. At number 33, we have Miriam. So Miriam, in season 1, I just extremely did not like her. Because in the original beta, she was just an angry woman who grew to become a better person before still ending up getting eliminated relatively early, which is why I ended up liking her more in the beta. I'll make a video about the characters in beta if you want. Anyways, but in season 1, basically just she has too much plot armor. So if the plot demands it, it turns out that she did so-and-so when she was younger, so she has an advantage at this challenge. Not to mention the fact that she literally faked her own death to be able to outlast Ellie in the finale. Now that is just cold. I really like how this isn't taking account into the ranking, but I really like how in episode 1 in the interviews that were confirmed to happen soon after the ending of season 1, Ellie said that Miriam was a bad person for faking her own death just to test her sympathy. Next time, I'll let her get closer to the light. Dang, Ellie, I love you so much as a character. Anyways, number 32 goes to Jensen. Jensen didn't have much development, and it was literally confirmed that they edited off most of it. So there's a lot of terrible stuff that we didn't even see him doing, mainly to animals and other practices that I'm sure. Also, he's the only character to have canonically died. He was in the bus with Tom when Tom was stealing the money. Then Tom stole it and somehow got out, even though we never saw when Tom got out. He was just out there next to the cliff. Then Jensen and the bus just fell over it and he died. Rip Bozo. Jensen really didn't even have anything interesting to him. And as a big animal lover, the fact that there's a ton of terrible stuff he did off camera to animals really brings him down, and he wasn't even comedic at any times like Derek or Trevor. And number 31 goes to Will. As Silly Billy, the voice of Trevor, said, they literally eliminated him the same way that they did in the beta. He was too much of a coward, so he didn't want to go down. Fiore ended up bossing him around and forcing him to go. He didn't get the flags, but Fiore did. So the team just eliminated him because he was being a coward, and he seemed delusional because it wouldn't make sense that Fiore would do that. I really like how they made him the first boot, meaning Dan could actually get some character development, unlike the first season. Because Will is just a jock that is afraid of everything. Those two types do not match. That's like if there was a character in BFDI that was a mix between Snowball and Woody. That just would not work. And because of that, he didn't work as a character, so they decided to do the smart thing and make him be an extremely early boot. literally eliminated in episode 2, the first one eliminated in that season. And dear golly, I'm so glad that they eliminated him that early. Number 30 goes to Rhea. She was enjoyable for the first part of the season, her being friends with Connor, with Lake, with Rosa. But the thing is, her turn and her rushed apology, like, there's no real reason for Connor to apologize to her at the end. Because she was still a jerk. And there's nothing that she can do to change that. And his excuse is that Rosa forgave her. She didn't even really forgive her. Rosa is just a good person, and she doesn't want to see someone fail without anyone helping them. Don't compare yourself to Rosa just to justify a forced redemption. You don't do that. And sure, her turn to the dark side does make sense when you look back at the episodes. Like, her asking if lying and deceiving is the only way to succeed in the game. Like, I think that Lake's elimination is a great example of looking back at the season where you can see it. Like, she knows that they're going to try to vote off Lake. But she knows. But at the time, everyone thought the finale was going to be a final 2. And she thought, well, if I told Rosa to save Lake with the totem, then that means the totem wouldn't be there. And Rosa definitely likes Lake more than me. So she didn't tell Rosa, and Lake ended up getting eliminated. You know, that would be an absolutely genius thing to do, you know. If she didn't steal the totem and have frame Rosa for something she did and have her eliminated a few episodes later. Just nothing with Rhea makes sense in season 2. Nothing. But at least at parts, I actually enjoyed her, unlike the first 3. Now we have the, dang, pretty bad tier. Starting off at number 29, Maggie. If we're being real here, Maggie is the worst character from season 2. She gets no development, and the only part of what happened to her that was enjoyable is when she gave Yule a black eye. Now, that was iconic. But she didn't feel like a good love interest to Kai. And it's not like Kai even ended up being in All-Stars, or we got to see much of what happened to them. It just upsets me what they did with Maggie. And realistically, she should be a lot lower, but there's nothing about her character that actively makes me mad. It's just wasted potential. Now for number 28, we have Derek. Derek was funny at times, but unlike Trevor in season 1, they actually confirmed that he actually did bad stuff to animals, like Jensen. Unlike Jensen, he was actually funny and didn't die. And him getting a black eye and becoming the new Yule, even though canonically he was the first one to get a black eye, was kind of fun, seeing that Gabby was able to beat him up and give him a black eye. Now, that was fun, and I am just going to say right here, I enjoyed him a lot more. I have been enjoying him a lot more inside of All-Stars. But with him not being as enjoyable as Trevor in season 1, and in season 1 it actually being confirmed that he did bad things to animals when it wasn't even confirmed that Trevor did any bad things and wasn't just getting arrested due to who he was working with in season 1. It was confirmed that he also did some bad things to animals off camera in All-Stars, but at least in All-Stars, Trevor actually tried to do stuff in episode 2 to make him feel better about what he did. Anyways, on to number 27, where we have Tess. In season 2, Tess is one of the worst characters. I find it relatable. I mean, I like how it's confirmed that she had depression, and that she takes pills, that means I can relate with her. But just because I can relate with a character doesn't mean that I have to like them. Because in season 2, the only good scene that there was of her character was her talking to Hunter about their experiences with depression and medicine. Like, that was really sweet, and like, I enjoyed them bonding there and being able to relate. I enjoyed that. But inside of season 2, Allie was a much more enjoyable character than Tess. Much more. Can't say the same with All-Stars. Anyways, Tess inside of season 2 was just an absolute waste of a character. And she's basically a copy of Gwen. And something that made Gwen interesting early on is that she was able to win the big sleep, while Tess was the first one out in that challenge. It just makes me upset. She's just Maggie. It's just she actually has a good scene. Now for number 26, we have Dan. I liked his friendship with Gabby in season 1, and I liked when, like, he lost his glasses, Gabby tried to help and found the totem. I like how he tried to apologize to Gabby after voting her. What I don't like is the fact that she didn't accept it. Like, it just made no sense for her to get rid of Dan there. Let's just be real. But anyways, Dan just had wasted potential and still had nothing interesting that happened to him, making me wish that he was an early boot like he was in the beta. Now we're on the come on, stop being average tier. At number 25, we have Jake. Jake is the most overrated character. Change my mind. I get that you may think that, wait, based on your own logic, shouldn't Miriam be the most overrated character? No, it actually makes sense why people like her. I just don't like what they did with her, because I'm special. In many ways. But Jake is just a crybaby who keeps on getting upset. It was much more enjoyable with Aiden and James. I don't care about Jake and Tom's relationship. And, like Ellie said in the interviews, talking to Jake should count as community service. Because Jake is just such an annoying character. I just cannot express it. He is so annoying. I mean, he has some good scenes. I like what they did with him and Miriam. But still, Jake just makes me mad. Why is he so annoying? Why is he such a crybaby? And he's not even a fun character or the main character like Aiden. I could not care less about Jake's character. And as James said in All-Stars, the casting team really dropped the ball when they invited Jake. At least I'm pretty sure it's James that said that. Anyways, number 24, we have Lil. Lil might actually be the most forgettable character in all of Disventure Camp. Like, I legitimately forgot she existed until I literally just got to this slide. Because even though I was rooting for her at the start, she wasn't as fun as Ashley. And I do like how Lil found out about Fiore sooner. But Fiore is the best character in all of Disventure Camp. So her trying to get Fiore out really doesn't make me happy. Just like, spoiler warning, I started hating Hunter and Ashley because of what happened in the second episode of All Stars. Lil just really had nothing happen to her character, and she couldn't be less forgettable. Anyways, I mean, I guess that means that she is the exact middle of the road. So that means that Jake is below average anyways. Number 23, we have Ashley. Ashley was fun in season 1. in season 1. You have to heavily specify. You have to heavily specify in season 1. She was a fun character. I honestly liked what they did with her more in the beta, where how Fiore and Gret worked together to shoot her with tranquilizers so she couldn't communicate, and the team had to vote her out because in this state she wouldn't be useful to them. Like, I really liked that. But anyways, she was just a fun stereotype. A really stupid one. And, as Ellie said in one of the interviews, she lives on a farm in Texas. Her intelligence matches her home life, that's all I'll say. Ellie is such an icon. Anyways, on to number 22, we have Hunter. He was a lot more enjoyable in season 2 than he was in All-Star. And him bonding with Tess and Allie was enjoyable. Him making it to the Final Four wasn't justified at all. I think it would honestly make a lot more sense if Rosa got there because, I don't know, maybe, just maybe, Rhea did the smart thing and framed it on Hunter instead of her main ally in the game. But anyways, the main thing I'm upset with is how he just ended up being too powerful, kept on winning challenges, and the missed potential with him. Because after Allie got eliminated, he was just a boring character who was just being there, winning all the challenges until the Final Four. Now we're on the bombastic tier. At number 21, we have Trevor. It wasn't confirmed in season 1 that he had done anything bad to animals. And because I'm one of the first viewers of Silly Dilly, like I was literally there before he hit 500 subs, I'm going to make a video soon about the creators that I watched before they became popular. Anyways, Trevor was an extremely fun character, and I really enjoyed him. He was a really fun host. Seeing him return in All-Stars was a good thing. And him being associated with with a funny YouTuber that also has ties to the series because he watches it a lot is good. And I really enjoyed him inside season 1. Now for number 20, we have Kai. At this point, I would have put him a lot lower. He was fun for when he was there. Keyword fun. Just fun. I realistically would put him a lot lower than this. Trevor is miles better than him. He was a fun character, and when season 2 was going on and it was being created, he was a character that I enjoyed and wanted to see him go farther. Him being chill, being nice with Connor, him snapping out at Yule. All of those are amazing parts. But they didn't put him in All-Stars. They didn't give it more scenes of him and Maggie after they got eliminated. And they really should have done a lot more with him. Because Kai, as a character, he just makes you want more. He's not like Dan, where you understand that there's really nothing you could do. Because chill Zen guy is an interesting concept, but they didn't do enough with him. Number 19, we have Crystal. Crystal was a very interesting host. The best one in the history of the show, obviously. Because Oliver kind of isn't the host, even though he's supposed to be in All-Stars. They just kind of made him a co-host while Crystal is still basically the main one. Anyways, Crystal was a fun host. It was fun to see her grow as a character throughout the season. But realistically, I cannot put her any higher than this. And I feel like them making her Chris's daughter really didn't have to be a thing. I think it should have been kind of like Nick's sister being Dakota, which was in the beta, which they scrapped because even though it's interesting, it's really kind of forced. Anyways, number 18, we have Tom. Tom was a lot better than Jake because he wasn't a crybaby, and him being a spy was interesting, even though it was extremely obvious, especially if you've already seen the beta. But he was a fun character. Seeing him become a cop at the end of the series was fun. I enjoyed Tom as a character. I just wish that they had him be with someone else. And if it is true that he is with Aiden in All Stars, good for him that he's with someone other than Jake. Number 17, we have Carol. Her hating Aiden and James so much is not the best. But to be fair, James really framed Aiden, and that led Carol to hate both of them. And her second elimination being entirely Aiden's fault because she put the tarantula there and that made her break her leg and have to leave. Like, that makes more sense. But her coming back and hating Aiden immediately doesn't make sense. Even though it does because James framed him. But her liking animals so much automatically makes me like her as a character. So, yeah. Number 16, we have Oliver. Oliver was an extremely, get ready for this, fun character. I really enjoyed him. It was nice to see after he got eliminated that Crystal let him stay around as an intern. I wish that they showed more of him in season 1 because he was only in one scene, and apparently that's enough for Aiden to be able to recognize him because he was in one scene in the original season as an intern. Sure, that makes a ton of sense. But anyways, Oliver was a nice character, and it was really nice to see him. Now, we are in the awesome tier. Number 15, we have Nick. Nick was extremely enjoyable. His accent, him being rich, him growing to become less afraid, growing away from his parents. I really wish they had more of him. Or, I don't know, put him in All Stars instead of Ashley. Maybe you could have done that. No? Okay. But Nick was an all-around enjoyable character. I mean, it does make sense for him to be eliminated earlier than, making it to 4th place like he did in the beta. But him being in the beta was basically just Hunter, if you know what I mean. Just making it way too far with no development. But unlike Hunter, it's not like he was good at the games. No, it's just everyone hated each other so much and didn't pay attention to him that he was able to make it that far until it was just like a sudden death thing. But anyways, in season 1, I found Nick very enjoyable. Now, number 14, we have Yul. In season 2, Yul was a very enjoyable antagonist. Him getting the black eye, him getting poisoned, all of that was enjoyable. Him rooting for Aiden at the end, I found really fun. Because even though he literally tried to poison Aiden to get him out of the game, he was still rooted for Aiden because Aiden never wronged him and played it completely fair, unlike Rhea. Sorry. And inside of the second season, Yul was a very enjoyable character and a very enjoyable antagonist. And I really wish that they did more with him because James just became a better person, meaning there was no villain until they decided to make Rhea become one for some reason. Now for number 13, we have Allie. Because inside of season 2, I'm very heavily specifying season 2, not in All Stars. She was an enjoyable character, an enjoyable gamer girl. Her having a friendship with Tess, not because she wanted to seem nice in front of Hunter, but just because she found Tess as an actual friend. Her being enjoyable with Hunter. Allie was just an all-around enjoyable character in season 2. And I really wish that they kept the original voice actor because if they did, then she probably would have made it a lot farther than being eliminated the same episode that Carol was eliminated again in because of injury. And I really wish that they didn't include her in All Stars, got the voice actor who she had for the episode she was eliminated in, or the original voice actor would have been more enjoyable than a completely new one who ended up having her become a way worse character. But anyways, for all of season 2, she was an enjoyable character. I didn't like how they had to have her change voice actors. I don't know why, but it's fine. Now, number 12, we have Drew. Drew's just a very enjoyable kid. He can't talk. He's kind of like a B 2.0. Sorry. I like how he had a friendship with Gabby, but I really did not like how, after everything, Gabby and the rest of the girls voted him off, and then Gret framed him to get Tom to vote him off. I did not like that, and I really wish that he made it further, or like Carol came back later in the season, or I don't know, have him in All Stars. No? Okay. But in season 1, for the short time that he was there, he was a very enjoyable and nice character. Number 11, we have Connor. I love Connor so much. That leaked clip of him sure is the reason that fake leaked clip was the reason that was kind of the reason that I got banned from this Disventure Camp server. But anyways, Connor was just a fun character. It was fun to see him be in All Stars. And it was nice to see him congratulate Oliver in All Stars for getting the promotion. It's nice to see him offer a job to Oliver in the bar after he bought the hotel so he could leave. It was nice to see his friendship with Rhea before she became evil. And he was just an enjoyable character. Now for number 10, we have Gret. Gret is Yule, but 1,000 times better. Everything she did made sense, and unlike Yule, she didn't play extremely dirty. At least in season 1, not in the beta where she helped Fiore to tranquilize Ashley. But at least inside of that, Fiore thought about throwing her in the lake and letting her drown. But Gret was actually a voice of reason and said, no, how about we don't do that? Anyways, Gret was a very enjoyable antagonist. As I said, a lot better than Yule, who is already good. And I enjoyed her for the entirety of season 1. Now, for number 9, we have Rosa Maria. I wish that we got to see Sophia in season 2. It would be really fun if it was just a mom and daughter duo crushing the competition, making it extremely far before she got betrayed by her only remaining friend. And then her daughter cussed Rhea out. It was fun to be able to see Sophia in All Stars. Rosa was a good support character. She was a really nice character. I enjoyed her for the entirety of season 2. There's not a single moment where I did not like her because she is a support character and a very nice one. And unlike Maggie, they actually did something with her. Even though she's a support character. Wow! I really wish that we would have been able to see her inside of All Stars, but her not wanting to leave Sophia makes a lot of sense. Now for number 8, we have Ellie. I'm just going to say right here, what she said in those interviews after season 1 was amazing. But for the entirety of season 1 itself, she was an incredible character. Sure, she did some dirty stuff with Jake and Tom, but she played the game mostly fair, and everything she did made sense. Unlike other characters, cough, cough, Rhea, cough, cough. And I enjoyed her the entire time. It's just I don't like her as much as the other 7 characters we have left. Now it's time for the super tier. Number 7, we have Marcus and Nina. Realistically, Ellie's better than them, but Nina was extremely enjoyable throughout the entirety of season 2. Marcus didn't really have much, but he was a fun character and a nice guy. And it was fun to see them throughout it all. Now for number 6, we have James. He was an antagonist at first. I really wish that they kept him as kind of an antagonist and made him slowly become better throughout the season, instead of just after Yule's out, he becomes a good person. So, I really wish that they had him be a bit more evil. Like, every villain is Lemons. Anyways, for number 5, we have Alec. Alec was you guessed, extremely enjoyable character throughout season 1. It was fun to see him with Gretz, Ellie, Fiore. I found him enjoyable the entire time. It's just, the other 4 were even more enjoyable. Now for number 4, we have Lake. I love Lake. Lake was an extremely fun character. She started off as just a smart girl, a smart and rich girl who had to study a lot and couldn't have much food, but she grew to become more independent and fierce, and she was great throughout it, and she could have made it even farther if it weren't for Rhea. But that was the one main decision that Rhea made as a villain, which actually made sense, so I'll cut her some slack there. I'm glad that she ended up getting an All-Stars, and I like how she was the first character confirmed for it. But, as you guessed, I like the other 3 characters even more than her. I think you guys should all be able to guess who's number 3. Aiden. He's definitely the best character from season 2. He was the main character for it, and he basically always threw his vote, like voting James the time Carol was out, yada yada. Even though he was stupid with his vote, him and all of his friendships were all wholesome. Him becoming friends with Lake, his thing with James, him feeling bad for what James did to frame him, and when Carol got out. Aiden was extremely enjoyable throughout the entirety of season 2, as you guessed, but not as enjoyable as the 2 remaining characters I've not mentioned from season 1. If you've been paying attention, you know which one is number 1 and which one's number 2. Unless you forgot what other character is going to be in season 2, because I haven't mentioned them very much, so fair. But number 2, we have Gabby. Gabby was so good. It was nice seeing her seeming to be crazy, having multiple personality disorder, her being good with animals. She was enjoyable throughout the entirety of the season. I liked how she was being a voice of reason in All Stars. I liked how she was being nice with Ellie. I like how she used her totem to save Ellie, even though everyone else thought that she was wasting it. I just remembered a video that I was going to make, but I forgot to do. Why Ellie and Gabby voting off anyone other than Dan would have made them win the season. Anyways, Gabby was an extremely enjoyable character, and she really didn't make any dumb decisions throughout the entire thing. She was just a nice support character, like Rosa Maria. It's just, she was mainly just support for Ellie. It was nice to see the 2 of them together, and it was nice to see her make it relatively far. I honestly wish she made it a lot farther, but anyways, number 1, we have the queen herself, Fiore. Fiore is the best character to ever exist. An evil 6-year-old. Oh my gosh, that's the best concept for a character ever. Everyone thought that she just stood no chance, that she was just a normal 6-year-old. And the fact that she was a 6-year-old made it easier for her to deceive people, because it would be harder to believe that she was evil. I didn't like how bad other characters were to her in episode 2 of All Stars. But Fiore will always be my favorite character, no matter what. I love Fiore as a character so much. She's so fun. She's so adorable. And I really wish that she ended up winning the season, like how after the Gotard was sabotaged in the beta, that ended up being what made Ellie win. But nope, they decided to make her crash into a tree and have Miriam win. But no matter what happened to her in season 1 and the fact that she realistically should have won, or at least Ellie should have, or Gabby, any of those would actually make sense. But Fiore, either way, was the best character in all of Disventure Camp. Well, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.